guys, welcome back to another video. We're doing Star Creators interviews, and we are here with one of the most OG Star Creators. I'm a Rainbow. Pleasure having you out here doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna ask you some questions. I don't know if you want to ask us questions. I don't know why you want to.
Wait. You're gonna ask me questions?
Yeah.
That's why it's an interview.
I'll start off. What was your inspiration to start a YouTube channel?
Money.
Sounds that honestly sounds.
I'm not really joking. It was sort of a thing to see if I could do it. Once I started doing YouTube, I've been aware of YouTube however long it's been around, but I never really did anything with it. I didn't spend a lot of time watching YouTube unless I needed help with something, self-help, type of thing, working on your car, something like that. And then when some buddies of mine were we were playing Pop 1 in the early days of everything, and they started throwing some videos on there, and we were looking at each other's videos, and I said, okay. So I said, how hard is this to do? I threw up some videos on YouTube, and I went from 9 or 10 friends to suddenly I had 20 or 30, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? That was when I started looking into actually doing something with YouTube, see what was involved, all of that stuff. I found out how many subscribers you had to monetize, stuff like that. And then I said, well, let me give this a try and see if I can do it. I gave myself a year to see if I could get that far, because it didn't seem like it was, I didn't know how long people went. As far as going viral, I had no aspirations for doing anything like that. I just thought, can I make good videos and get some people interested? So it took me 11 months from the time I started.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to make your current outfit? Like, what inspired how it looks?
This is awesome. I didn't have to do anything here. This praying mantis is the business here. It's almost as nice as my squid arms, but I don't, a lot of the creators get one outfit and they stick with it. And I'm like, I don't wear the same pair of underwear every day. I don't think you guys do either, right? Tell me you don't, okay? So you're going to wear new clothes, and what's the purpose of these cosmetics if I don't try new stuff on? So, I almost always wear the lip ring, and I got the blade of grass, and I'm usually wearing shades, either the beach ones or the glowy ones that they just came out with recently. And the bracelet, which you can't really see on here, but the rainbow bracelet's the business too. But that's probably the only thing.
Is that what made yourself call you I'm a Rainbow?
Oh no, that's a gamer tag I've had for 31 years or some variation of that.
I think all of our
That's a pretty good name tag too.
So,
how did you find out about Yeeps and Seek?
Gods of Gravity. I was in the Discord. I had done some Gods of Gravity videos, and they came out with the Discord. Hey, we got a new game. We're doing an alpha. You want to participate? I like Gods of Gravity. I said, hey, let me give Yeeps a try. So,
and here we are.
That's right. Here we are.
And what inspired you to make your types of videos? I know most of the times do help outs with the updates and stuff. What inspired you to do that?
Well, I don't stick to one type of video. So some of your creators, all they're doing is Yeeps videos. They don't want to do other things. Any game that I enjoy, I will do videos on. I did a lot of videos on Grab before Yeeps ever came around.
Oh yeah,
I still do occasional videos on Grab.
I saw.
And yes, I do a lot of informational videos, just because I figure if I want to figure out how to do something, other people will want to know how to do it. And that's very true. My controller repair videos, those have hundreds of thousands of views, and the comments and likes and stuff on those are sky high, because I've helped out a lot of people with their controllers, and that makes me feel good. But
sure, I watched that video.
Almost everybody has at some point, with more than 25 million VR headsets sold. Okay, the meta ones, and 10% of those are going to have drift. That's a lot of people, trying to fix their drift and stuff. But so I like doing I like doing informational videos. Occasionally I do something kind of sketch related, new games I'm playing. You know, I did some on the Chicken Dead. That looked like it was going to do something, and then the developers are just kind of, it's been a month of almost nothing. So that's kind of gone off the cliff. But Gravity, they invited me to do that. I looked at that. I like that. And I think that one, they are very, they sort of remind me of Trask in the early days when they were doing Gods of Gravities. They're just throwing stuff at it and doing things. And I think that one's going to catch on. I could be wrong, but I enjoy playing it right now, you know, and they're doing a lot of new stuff in it. So,
what is like your main advice to like all the smaller like content creators out there?
My main advice. All right, so you probably figured out by now I'm a little bit long-winded when you ask me a real question. I'll try to give you a real answer. But as far as making things, there's no shortcuts, okay? Maybe one person in 10,000 goes viral for something. The rest of them, it's all making videos and hard work. And quite frankly, if you guys have done this for any length of time, it's hard work. All right, so make great thumbnails. Something that's happening in the video. Don't make clickbait. Make something that's happening in the video. Make a good thumbnail. People appreciate that. Use descriptions on your videos. If you look at 90% of the ones you guys make, you don't put anything in the description. What does YouTube know about your video?
Until they read the description.
Absolutely correct. They cannot index what's in your video. They can only index the words that you use. And if you look at any of my videos, I use several thousand words, you know, because people, when they're searching for stuff, are going to find something. Even if it's a description of the game, you know, they will find stuff. All right. So, and those two things I think are very important. But the biggest thing is, you know, keep trying to make better videos. Don't get caught up in, you know, how many people liked it or didn't like it, but keep trying to make better videos for yourself. All right. And if you do that, you say, hey, this was better than this one. You know, I didn't like this. You improve the next time. You will get better over time.
What did you first think when you got Star Creator during the first batch?
All right. So I think people may or may not have heard this before. I get a lot of times people like, you should be moderator or something like that. Well, moderators have responsibilities. I'm sorry. I got enough of those in life already. It was the same thing with Star Creator. It sounded like a deal, but the question is, what am I obligated to do in return? You know, and there were some things that come along with that, but none of them were more than I was willing to do. So I thought that was good, you know, because I'm already doing pretty much everything that they wanted as far as representing the game. But it's like anything, you shouldn't do it just because you think it's going to get you fame or fortune. You know, is it something that you're willing to do?
One is, do you use incognito? And if you do, then what's your favorite moment on incognito?
I do it because I pretty much, unless I'm around people that I see on a regular basis, which I'm friended with, I can't just walk into a normal lobby anymore. And that, I'm really glad they did that, because it's just disruptive for everybody, because I walk in and all of a sudden, you know, people are yelling at you and screaming at you. And I understand that they want to meet me, you know, in VR, as it were, but it's disruptive for the game. So the incognito mode, I really like the fact they did that, because I can just drop in. I can, so long as I don't say anything to anybody, I'm good, you know, and I can just play and see what's going on and see what kind of cool stuff you guys are building. So now,
what is your favorite map to play? Official map?
It's got to be Playground. So I liked Hill when it was around, just because I liked the different things there. But as far as the official maps, Playground is my favorite. Though I have to say, with the addition of the NPCs, I like the Infested Castle. That's just fun, because there's something always going on in there. So,
in community worlds that you've played, like, do you have like a favorite?
Well, all my favorites are actually mine, is all I can tell you, is or maps, ones I've worked on, which is Stunt D. That's got a lot going for it. And then Rainbow, it's still got, and gosh, I got to get back to my Full Throttle map and update it with all this new stuff, because that's a racing map I really love, but it's gotten a little dated. But as far as the rest of them, the answer is no. There are so many only ups, and I don't like only ups to start with, but everybody's making an only up. I don't like the VIP maps that have VIPs. I just don't like that whole thing at all. It's I don't know. It's
like
bad.
Where it's pay to
I don't like it. Well, sort of, it's pay to win, but and I understand that, and then it's nice that if people don't have another way to earn some of those nano credits, but straight up, I just don't like doing it. So I don't have any of that in any of my maps.
Yeah, they're very unoriginal and boring.
Yeah, do you have any predictions for 2.0? And also, what do you want in 2.0? What are you kind of excited for?
What do I want? I think we're going to see more NPCs in different types. I'm really hoping that come Halloween, we've got zombies or monsters or something that goes along with that. Because once they introduce it, they can build on it. All right. And I think part of that EP's 2.0, everybody's like, well, the portal's going to go to old maps. I'm like, who really wants to play old maps? Do you guys want to really play old maps? I don't think so. Honestly, they're like, oh, I saw that. But, if you've never played it, it's interesting. But if you've been around forever, do you really want to play an old map? I don't think so. It's going to be for other things. Okay. So, new biomes, whether that's in space or under the ocean or on a mountaintop somewhere. I don't know where, but I think that's where a lot of that's going to be. And I'm hoping that they do that. And I'm hoping we get some transportation so we don't have to run through 5 rooms to get to other rooms. That would be so nice. My old arms are getting tired from running back and forth.
What is your favorite U-Seek update?
It's going to be a hard question. Why would that be a hard question? So honestly, they tend to build on each other. So my favorite update that ever dropped is the Red Wire update, because that has made so much other things possible. All right. My favorite creative update was actually Ocean, because that's when they started introducing some bright colors. Before that, they were all very dull and muted, and I hated that, especially as a content creator. I want to stand out. Stuff like this, it's easy to spot me. All right. But browns and dull colors, I don't want to do that. So, but then now that they've done the NPCs, it just plays onto that. So if they, all this stuff tends to stack. So of all the updates, I'd say those are my 3 favorites, which would be Ocean, the Red Wire update, and then this past update.
All right, so this is going to be about the other star creators. Which star creator are you closest to, and which one is your favorite?
Honestly, I'm not really close to any of those. You guys have to remember, I'm 61 years old, okay? It's not like we hang out. I've interacted with, half a dozen of them, building, doing things, just hanging out a little bit, okay? But that's probably it. I can't say, they do. Now that we did it with the Star Creator chat, I tend to actually chat a little bit more with those guys than I did before. So that's kind of cool. But our interests are very, I got old man interests, and you guys got young adult interests. It's just, there's a big gap right there, and some of the things you guys find hilarious, I'm like, oh no, I'm not even getting involved in that. So, and vice versa. So it's a little bit different. So, I mean, I like most of the star creators that I've met. I like, hanging around. They're usually pretty good. I like the diversity, the different things they've got going on, because nobody's a carbon copy of anybody. They're all doing some slightly different things and, making very interesting videos. So I like that.
Yeah. Out of us 3, what is your favorite fit?
There you go. Somebody's on the spot. I like yours because it's the brightest of the bunch. Okay. So.
Right. Yeah, mine. He hates my fit.
Why?
I don't know. He thinks it's too flashy or something like that.
It's just the hat.
Well,
He looks emo. I look emo. That's crazy. So.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for us?
Not really. So anyway, what are you guys looking forward to in EP's 2.0?
Oh, God.
One thing you think's going to happen?
I think they're going to make, not a survival mode like there is now, but a free-to-play survival mode, kind of more similar to Minecraft.
Okay.
I mean, like you said, the teleporter, that would take you to every map you want, any map. I really hope that.
I hope they have, honestly, more creative blocks in general, like the wood blocks, because there's not enough blocks like that and slabs. I feel like.
You think there's not enough creative blocks now? I think.
There is, but I'm talking about the wood in general. There's some stuff that I feel like they need to add.
Do you have any tips for upstart creators?
For upstart? pretty much I covered it before. Thumbnails are important. You got to make sure you can read that thing. And most of you guys all look at YouTube on your phones. Okay, so it's a small screen, which means you want big letters and a picture you can see at a glance on your screen. Not something you have to study that. And that's where I think a lot of people go wrong, is they say, oh, I got this cool picture, but it's a big picture of everything and you can't see it. And then they use some weird letters or something that aren't easy to see. If you've looked at any of my videos, I use a font called Luckiest Guy. I use that because it's the biggest font that I can find. I mean, as far as bold, it doesn't have any other, it's one option and I can make it whatever size I want and it's very uniform. So it's easy to see. So
Yeah.
Sure,
Your guys'
something like
cameras
this, but-
disappeared, by the way.
I know. What is like your favorite fan experience? Like, I know you probably had a lot.
oh gosh. Favorite fan experience. Honestly, I think I like it the most, not necessarily in game, when I get comments back on the YouTube channel about any of the videos and it's helped somebody. Somebody actually spends a couple of sentences and says, hey, I was having this issue and you helped me fix it because, you showed me exactly how to do this. Or, controllers, I helped do that. That gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling is all I can tell you. It's nice to be able to help people and work things out and help them get things sorted.
Right.
Yeah. You actually helped me. I'm using it right now. You actually helped me with the, I think, like multitask setting.
Yep, that thing's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Alright, that's pretty much all for the questions.
Don't mind the join thing.
That's pretty much all for the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We have.
thanks for coming out here.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here with another interview.
All right. Let me do
We're
it.
Here with.
Hold up.
I'm a rainbow.